Act 3 of Shudraka's Mrichchhakatika begins with a scene where we have a servant who is waiting for the arrival of the master. The master here is, of course, Charudatta. First, the servant talks about a good master who is kind-hearted, in spite of his poverty, is always pleasing. Charudatta is described as a person who is a benevolent master, who is not very proud of his riches and is always very helpful and considerate. Servant also talks about a bull that is greedy of feast of corn that cannot be restrained, and a wife who cannot be prevented when she is fond of someone else. So this type of picture of society where gambling is seen as a sin, and gambling makes a man perform things that are beyond cure, beyond remedy. Charudatta has been absent and has been attending a night musical sorry and has not returned yet. So it is already midnight, past midnight, and the servant says that he has not returned yet, and he starts sleeping. Soon we find the entry of Charudatta and Vidushaka. Charudatta, friend Vidushaka, Maitri enter together, and Charudatta says, "Excellent, excellent! How exquisitely Rebhila sang! The Veena is indeed a gem without being born of the ocean. It is an agreeable companion to the heart of one who is longing for his beloved. It is a noble amusement when the lover who has made his appointment tarries. It is the most agreeable remedy to compose those who are pining away from the separation of the beloved, and moreover, it is a delight that enhances the passion of the lover." Such an excellent comment on the contemporary music, especially the instrument Veena that has been used by Rebhila, who is a singer. And Charudatta talks about the Shringar Rasa and the theme of Viraha, the separation between the lover and the beloved. And Charudatta's present state of mind is almost similar to the theme of the song, where we have the passion of a lover longing for his beloved. Charudatta has fallen in love with Vasantasena, and that is obliquely hinted at. So Vidushaka says, "Come, sir, let us go home." Charudatta says, "Hey, how wonderful our learned Rebhila sang." So he's still preoccupied with the song of Rebhila. Vidushaka says, "But to me, there are two things at which I cannot choose but laugh. First, a woman reading Sanskrit and a man singing in a soft and low tone." So these are the two things that Vidushaka says that he should be critical of. The educational status of women during that period is almost remarkable. A woman reading Sanskrit, although Maitri doesn't like this, but it is also a fact that he says, now when a female reads Sanskrit, she repeatedly snuffles. She makes a su-su sound like a young cow which has a rope newly passed through its nostril. And a man singing soft and low is like a priest dressed in dried up flower garlands and softly muttering sacred text. No, I don't like it at all. So this apathy towards female singing, reciting Sanskrit slokas with susu sound, or a man singing in a low voice, low tone, soft feminine voice. So gender markers are almost present there. So this type of difference that is marked between the male and the female and their pursuit of the fine arts has been presented by Maitri. Charudatta says, "My friend, Rebhila sang most wonderfully tonight, and still you are not satisfied. Lovely, sweet, smooth and clear, emotional, graceful and charming, such was his music. What if I spoke my numerous words of praise? I believe that there was a female covertly stationed in him." So this is a kind of performance that is being appreciated, and Charudatta is appreciating the presence of a female voice that is there in the sonorous voice of this singer Rebhila. "As I walk on, I seem to hear the sweet cadence still, even when the music has died. The sweet notes of the lute blended in harmony, making difference murchanas, even on syllables, now gently undulating, now swelling high, now dying to a close, soft pause, easily controlled, from straying to a false note, and repeated with a passionate enthusiasm. So we find this is Charudatta's romanticism, and he is much impressed by the song as it appeals to his senses, to his passion. Vidushaka says, "Oh, friend, even the dogs in the high road through the marketplace are fast asleep. Let us go home. Friend, look, look. The moon descends from her mansion in the skies as if making room for darkness." Very interesting use of alamkara, metaphorical language. While moon is personified, descending from her mansion, a feminine moon descending from her mansion in the skies, and she is gradually making room for darkness, gradually sitting down. Charudatta says, most truly. Charudatta's appreciation for moon is also interesting. The moon making room for darkness hastens to her, setting with her digit uplifted, resembling thereby the curved end of the tusk of a forest elephant. So the moon's image, the entire image that is woven with words, this image has been compared with the end of the tusk of a forest elephant, which is left visible over the waters when the elephant is plunged into water. So finally, through this conversation, they reach their house. So Maitreya says, "Sir, here is our house. Vardhamanaka, Vardhamanaka, open the door." You remember Vardhamanaka, who was already in a state of drowsiness, was in taking a nap. So he is called Vardhamanaka. Ah, the Vardi Maitri's voice is heard. Charudatta has returned. I shall therefore open the door for him. So he opens the door, the real door that is not there on the Sanskrit stage. So through language, they will describe this entire image. And through mudras, abhinaya, angikas, and vachika, the voice, they will describe the setting. Master, I bow unto you, Maitri. I salute you too. Pray, let us, worthy sir, seat yourself on the seats that are ready spread. So both enter and seat themselves. Vidushaka says, Vardhamanaka, call Radhanika to wash our feet. Charudatta compassionately, nay, do not wake her up, who is fast asleep. Vardhamanaka says, I shall hold the water while you, Vardhi Maitreya, may wash his feet. So Vidushaka, Maitreya is angry. Oh friend, look at this. This son of a slave is to hold the water while he sets me, who I am a Brahman, to wash the feet. See, son of a slave, that means there is a caste division between the servant Vardhamanaka and Maitri, Vidushaka. So he doesn't like this man to pour water on his legs because he is a Brahmin. So it is a state where we have the rule of caste rigid society. So casteism is an evil against which Dr. B.R. Ambedkar fought throughout his life. And even today we find this curse of Indian civilization that is called untouchability is still rife. So here we find the marker of untouchability. Although this particular play was written in the Mauryan period, especially after Chandragupta Maurya, the play became popular. We find that this play also contains some elements of caste rigid society. After Ashoka, however, we find that casteism was abolished from India because of the influence of Buddhism. Still now, during that time, 2nd century, 3rd century BC, we have the impact of casteism. So Vidushaka's words are casteist. So this is a slur against son of a slave, Shudra. Charudatta says, friend Maitreya, pour out the water. So Vidushaka does accordingly, and Vardhamanaka washes Charudatta's feet and then moves away. So Charudatta allows this. Charudatta is also a Brahmin, but this rigidity is not seen in Charudatta. This also shows Charudatta's noble nature and character. Charudatta says, let water be poured to wash the Brahman's feet. So Vidushaka says, what good does water do my feet? I shall have to roll on the ground again like a beaten ass. Vardhamanaka says, for the Maitri, you are a Brahmin. Vidushaka says, like Bhuvun. amongst all serpents. Yes, so I am a Brahman among all the Brahmans. So this is called caste pride. And Vidushaka exhibits this caste pride. Vardhamanaka says, Vardhi Maitreya, however I shall wash your feet. Maitreya, this golden casket I was to keep by day, you by night, therefore take it. So he gives that um, golden casket containing the jewelry of, you remember, Vasantasena, who offered the casket to Charudatta. Therefore, take it. He gives that to Maitreya and then exit. Vidushaka recovering the casket. Oh, the thing is here even to this day. Isn't there a single thief even in Ujjaini to steal this wretch that robs me of my sleep? Friends, I shall lay it in the inner courtyard. Charudatta says, don't lay it in the inner courtyard, inasmuch as it is worn by a courtesan. Therefore, O Brahman, keep it with yourself till it is restored to her. Her refers to Vasantasena. He acts as if sleeping and again repeats, as I walk on and so he is dreaming. Vidushaka, sir, are you going to sleep? Charudatta says, yes. The sleep descending on my eyes approaches me as if from the regions of my forehead, unseen and elusive like old age. She increases in strength, overwhelming the energy of man. So, conquering the energy of man, this sleep is conquering him. Vidushaka says, then let us go to sleep. So, he acts as if sleeping. And now what happens? So, another suspense, a new twist in the theme. Sarvalika enters. Sarvalika says, having effected with the aid of my training and the strength the passage which is the road unto my action, and which is such as would easily admit the circumference of my body, I, with my sides scratched on account of creeping onto the ground, move like a serpent with a worm out body and escaping from some obstacle. So gazing at the sky joyfully, see the moon is setting, for well I know. So who is Sarvalika? Sarvalika is a thief. So he will be planning to steal the jewel kept here in the house. Like a mother whose pupil of the eye is darkened by the disease of cataract, the night whose stars are hidden amidst the thick mass of darkness, shield me, valiant and solely determined as I am, on spoiling the dwellings of others, and who am walking about in apprehension of the royal watchman, having made a breach in the walled boundary of the garden. So he has made a hole under the wall of the garden. I have got into the midst of the garden, and now I shall force my way into the inner courtyard as well. Yes, men may speak of this thieving as ignoble, inasmuch as it succeeds most when men are overcome with sleep. It is sheer knavery and no bravery to cheat those who lie confidingly abed. It is an insult worthy of contempt, but yet a position that is after all independent, through condemnable, indeed is certain far better than servile homage, and moreover, this very course was adopted formally by Drona's son in his nocturnal onset on the Pandavas' king. So Drona's son, Dronacharya's son, who attacked Pandava into the house, entered the house. But then where shall I make the breach? Which part of the wall? So he plans to make a hole in the wall so that he can enter inside and steal. So what part of the wall is it that is loosened on account of constant sprinkling of water, and wherein there may be no noise made by falling fragments of bricks? Where is there a yawning breach practicable, which will not be afterward visible on the walls? What part of the mansion is likely to be dilapidated, having few bricks corroded by saltpeter? Where can I penetrate in order that I may accomplish my purpose without encountering the female sex? So suddenly he is feeling the wall, and then finding the spot, he says, here is a spot that is weakened by the continual sprinkling with water and exposure to the sun, and it is moreover corroded on account of saltpeter. On the purpose is evidently accomplished. This is the first omen of success for the son of Skanda. For now, first of all, what kind of hole shall I make? the worthy bearer of the golden lance Kanda has. And in this connection, prescribed four modes of effecting a breach. So, how to make a hole in the wall? So, there are four modes of making a hole in the wall. Thus, number one, pulling out the bricks if they are baked, cutting through them if unbaked, throwing water on them if they are made of earth, and splitting those of wood. Here we have baked bricks which must be pulled out. So the breach may be like a fully bloomed lotus, or like the full sun, or like the crescent moon, or like a lake, or oblong, or like a swastik cross, or like a water jar. In what portion of the wall am I to display my skill, seeing which the citizens shall be astonished tomorrow? Oh, in this wall of baked bricks, a water jar alone looks best. He's an artist. Okay, a person who is making a hole. See how interesting similes, alankars he is using. So the breach, the hole will be like a full bloom lotus. The breach will be like a full sun. The breach will be like a crescent moon, or like a lake, or oblong. A series of similes used, almost epical. So finally, he decides to make a hole that will resemble a water jar. So I will make that in connection with my irregular creation into other walls corroded by saltpeter, which have been breezed by me in the course of this night. The neighbors, seeing them in the morning, will find fault with my work in some, at the same time speak well of my dexterity in others. So once people are awake in the morning and they will find the hole in the wall, they will appreciate my work. Bow to the boon conferring god Kartikeya of immortal youth. So he's praying to Lord Kartik for the boon, immortal youth. Praise to him, the bearer of golden lance, the god who is ever the king of Brahmins and whose law is divine. Praise to Bhaskaranandi, reverence to Yogacharya, whose foremost pupil I am. For being pleased with me, he blessed me with the magic ointment. So this way I will definitely breach the wall and make a hole inside the wall. When I am besmeared with it, none among the watchmen can behold me, nor can any weapon thrown on my body produce. Okay, please keep on reading. Huh? I'm just coming. Wait. Okay, I will be back. Please reading the. So he continues, when I am besmeared with it, none among the watchmen can behold me, nor can any weapon thrown on my body produce any weapon thrown on my body produce any pain to me. So he anoints himself and then says, alas, I have forgotten my measuring line. So reflecting, aha, this sacred thread shall be my measuring line. Yes, the sacred thread is the most useful material to a Brahman, and especially to one like me, for it serves him to measure the breach in the wall, and to disentangle ornaments from their fastenings. It serves to him the purpose of a key when a door is strongly secured by bolt, and it serves him also the purpose of tourniquet where he is bitten by reptiles or serpents. So this is a kind of antidote that he has applied to his entire body before entering into through the hole. Having finished the measuring, I shall begin my task of making the breach. And he starts doing that. He does and takes a look. Ah, this breach wants but a single brick. Alas, I am beating away a snake. He binds his finger with a sacred thread and manifests the effect of poison, applying remedy. Okay, okay, now I am all right. So he continues making the hole. Ah, there burns a lamp. Now he can see through the wall a lamp, even though hemmed by darkness. The yellow, the golden yellow flame of the lamp streaming through the breach shines upon the ground like a streak of gold placed on a touchstone. Returning to his work, the breach is accomplished. Very well, I shall enter. Or rather, I shall not enter so soon. I shall first shove in a dummy. Ah, no one else is here. Bow to Skanda. He enters and looks about. Ah, here are two men asleep. For my own protection, let me see. Set the door open. Why, the house is old and the door squeaks. I must look for water. Ah, now where might water be? So he enters, looks about, finds water, sprinkles. I hope it will not patter upon the floor and make a noise. Well, this is how to do it. He puts his back against the door and opens it. Good, so much for that. Now I must discover whether these two are feigning sleep or whether they are really asleep. He tries to terrify them and notes the effect. Yes, they are indeed fast asleep. For see, the breathing is free, very distinct and regular. The eyes are closed tightly, unmoving within their socket holes and do not seem to wink. The limbs are relaxed, the joints of the body being loosened and extended beyond the dimensions of the bed. If they are feigning asleep, surely they will not bear the gleam of the lamp upon their faces. So Savalika looks around about him. What? A drum? And here's a flute? And here's a tabor? And here's a lute? And reed pipes? Huh, and yonder manuscripts? Hey, is this the house of a dancing master? But no. Or have I entered out of a faith in appearance of the mansion? Now then, is this man really poor, or from the fear of the king or of thieves? Does he keep his money buried underground? Well, can any treasure be hidden from me, from Sarvalika? He starts searching around the room. But I will scatter the seeds that betray subterranean gold. And he does so. The scattered seeds nowhere expand. Ah, he is really poor. Good, I go. So Maitreya, you remember Maitreya has just fallen asleep and now he is speaking in his sleep. So somnambulist. So in the sleep he is talking. Friend, I see something like a hole in the wall. I see something like a thief. You had better taken the golden casket. See how the suspense is aroused by it. Sarvalika has already made a hole in the wall. And now Vidushaka in his dream is saying that something like a hole in the wall, I see something like a thief. And then he is talking about his golden casket. Golden casket, you remember, was kept by Maitri Vidushaka for safe custody. And this contains, the golden casket contains the jewelry, the jewels of Vasantasena. Sarvalika hears, I wonder if the man had discovered that I have entered and is showing off his poverty in order to make fun of me. Shall I kill him? Or is He's talking in his sleep, being a well minded little man. So he looks, takes a look. Ah, see, this thing wrapped in a ragged bathing garment. Now that I inspect it by the light of my lamp, is in truth a jewel casket? Well, I shall take it. But no, it is hardly proper to rob a man of good birth who is as poor as I am. I go. So this is also the goodness of Sarvalika. So he has entered into the house of a poor man, and suddenly this man in sleep, Maitri is talking about the golden casket, and he's already seen, spotted that golden casket. Videshaka, again in his sleep. My friend, I conjure thee by the wishes of cows and Brahmins to take this golden casket. Sarvalika says, one cannot disregard the sacred wish of a cow and the wish of a Brahman, as the Brahman is saying this. I will take it. But look, there burns a lamp. I keep me about me a moth for the express purpose of extinguishing lamp. I will let him enter the flame. This is a place and hour to make use of it. May this moth which is here release, depart to flutter above the flame in varying circles. Bhadrapita has put out the lamp by the breeze from its wings and has made accursed darkness. Or shall I not rather curse the darkness brought by me upon my Brahminic family? For my father was a man who knew the four Vedas and who would not accept a gift. And I, Sarvalika, his son, a Brahman, and I am committing a crime for the sake of that courtesan girl Madanika. Now I will grant the Brahman's wish. He reaches out for the casket. So this is another subplot in the play. Sarvalika has fallen in love with Madanika. Madanika is a slave woman to Vasantasena. And in order to free the slave Madanika from Vasantasena, Sarvalika is expected to pay some money. He has no money. Being a son of a Brahman, he has also become poor and now took to this trade of thieving. He has become an expert and now he is stealing this casket from this Brahman's house. Vidushaka. How cold your fingers are, friend? Sarvalika. What carelessness! My fingers are cold from touching water. Well, I will put my hand in my armpit. So he warms his left hand and takes the casket. Vidushaka says, have you got it? Sarvalika. I could not refuse a Brahmin's request. I have. Vidushaka's again in sleep. Now I shall sleep as peacefully as a merchant who has sold his wares. Sarvalika says, oh, great Brahman, sleep 100 years. Alas, I have plunged in darkness a Brahmin family for the sake of Madanika, a courtesan. Or better, I have thus plunged my own soul in darkness. Fie upon this poverty when one forgets one's manly virtues. And here I do a shameful act, although condemning it at the same time. Well then, I must go to Vasantasena's house to buy Madanika's freedom. He walks about and looks around him. I think I hear the footsteps. I hope they are not those of a policeman. Never mind. I shall stand like a post. But after all, I, Sarvalika, to be a dread of the policeman? Why am I? Why I am afraid of it? A cat is climbing, a deer is running, a hawk is holding in clutches and tearing to pieces. A dog is gorging the strength of those that are asleep and those that are wide awake. A snake is creeping in assuming various forms. I am Maya, myself, the goddess of speech incarnate in the use of different languages, a lamp in the night, a lizard in the holes, a horse on the land, and the boat on the water. And again, I am a serpent in motion, a mountain in steadiness, and I can match Garuda, Lord of birds, in constantly flying about. I am a hare in cunning, the world, wolf in seizing, and a lion in strength of body. So we find a series of similes used. That I am like this, I am like this. So this is a metaphorical language. Extensive use of alamkara can be seen in this text. And through these words of Sarvalika, we find that how well he is versed in a beautiful language in discourse. And throughout the text, we will find the excellent use of language. Mrichchhakatika contains several languages. Mrichchhakatika is a play which is composed in Sanskrit, but it contains several other languages like Prakrit, like Pali, like the vernacular languages, Mathili, Brij Bhasha, Madhubani, all these languages are there. Almost 16 to 17 languages are there in Mrichchhakatika. So he has taken that and has already described the flight. He has come out of the house of Charudatta, and finally he has met Radhanika entering. Dear me, Vardhamanaka went to sleep in the outer court and now he is not there. Well, I will call Maitreya. So Radhanika, the household servant of Charudatta, she walks about. Sarvalika prepares to strike down Radhanika, but first takes a look. What? A woman? Good, I go. So he goes out, exit. Radhanika recalling terror. Oh, a thief! A thief has cut a hole in the wall of our house and is escaping. I must go and wake Maitreya. Maitreya, get up, get up, get up. A thief has cut a hole in the wall of our house and escaped. Maitreya rising from his sleep. We have seen him. In the sleep he was talking. What do you mean? A hole in the wall has cut a thief and has escaped? Radhanika says, poor fool, stop your joking. Don't you see it? Vidashaka, what do you mean? It looks as if a second door has been thrown open. Get up, friend Charudatta, get up. A thief has made a hole in the wall of our house and escaped. Charudatta, yes. A truce to your jest. Stop joking, don't make jest. Vidashaka says, but it is not jest. Look. Where? Why, here? See, look at it. Charudatta gazing. What? Huh? A very remarkable hole. The bricks are thrown down from above. It is narrow at the top and expanded in the middle. It appears that the heart of the mansion has burst through the dread of the contact of this with an unworthy person. Why, even in such a task, there is a skill. So Maitri is so worried about this theft, but Charudatta is appreciating the skill of the thief. Vidashaka, my friend, this hole must have been made by one of two men, either by a stranger or else for practice by a student of science of robbery. For what man here in Ujjaini does not know the wealth of our house? So he says that this hole must have been made by a person who is uh, an apprentice and learning the science of robbery, because everyone know that Charudatta has become poor. Charudatta says, this breach in the wall must have been surely made by a stranger who was practicing his art. He did not know that only impoverished persons sleep soundly. He entered, full of hope, seeing before him this huge pile of ours, large mansion, but must have gone quite disappointed, being merely fatigued by the trouble he took in entering, effecting the breach in the wall. What will the poor fellow have to tell his comrades? I entered the house of a merchant's son and found nothing. Vidushaka, do you really feel sorry for the rascal robbery? He must have thought, here is a great house, here is a place to carry off a jewel casket or a gold casket. Suddenly he remembers the casket and despondently aside. Where is the golden casket? Then he remembers the event of the night aloud. Look, friend, you're always saying Maitreya is a fool, Maitreya is a blockhead, but I certainly acted wisely in handing over that golden casket to you. If I had not, the son of a slave could have carried off. Charudatta says, come, enough of this jesting. Don't make jokes. Don't play jokes on me. Vidushaka, just because I'm a fool, do you suppose I don't even know the place and time for a jest? Charudatta says, but when did this happen? Vidushaka says, why? When I told you that your fingers were cold? Charudatta, it might have been. Searches about joyfully. My friend, I have something pleasant to tell you. Vidushaka says, what? Was it not stolen? Charudatta says, yes. Vidushaka, what is the pleasant news then? Charudatta says, the fact that he did not go disappointed. But it was merely a trust. What trust? Come to yourself, friend. If a thief stole what was entrusted to you, why should you swoon? Charudatta becoming himself. Ah, my friend, would he will believe. In fact, everyone will cite me. Indeed, abject poverty affords ground for suspicion in this world. Alas, if fate had already all my wealth, why should that ruthless fate tarnish my fair name now? Vidashaka says, I shall deny the whole thing. Who gave anybody anything? Who received anything from anybody? Who was a witness? Charudatta says, shall I tell a falsehood now? I would rather beg and earn enough money to repay the price of the deposit. On no account I shall speak a falsehood and soil my name. Radhanika says, I will go and inform Dhuta of all this. She goes out, returning with Charudatta's wife. Now a new complication has come. The jewelry that was entrusted for safekeeping to Charudatta has been stolen by the thief, Sarvalika. Dhuta is the wife of Charudatta. So she is very anxious. She enters. Oh, it is truth that my lord is uninjured and Maitri too. So here we find Dhuta's good nature. She is more worried about the safety of her husband as well as Charudatta's friend Maitreya. Radhanika says, it is true, mistress, but the gems which belong to the courtesan have been stolen. Charudatta's wife swoons, faints. Oh, my good mistress, come to yourself. So she recovers herself after hearing this news. She is shocked. Girl, how do you say that my lord is uninjured? Better he were injured in body than in character. For now the people of Ujjaini will say that my lord committed this crime because of his poverty. So she keeps looking up and sighs. Ah, mighty fate, thou dost play with the destinies of the poor, uncertain as the water drops which fall upon the lotus leaf. There remains to me this one necklace which I brought with me from my mother's house. But my lord would be too proud to accept it. Girl, call Maitreya hither. Radhanika says, yes, mistress. Maitreya, Maitreya, my lady summons you. Vidashaka says, where is she? Radhanika, here, come. Heaven bless you. Dhuta says, I salute you, sir. Sir, will you look straight in front of you? Madam, here I stand as you desire. Sir, you must accept this. So she's offering her only necklace that she has brought from her home. What do you mean? Dhuta says, I have fasted on the Ratnashti day and therefore must make a present to a Brahman as rich as I can. This I have not done. Therefore, pray accept this necklace on account of such a Brahman. Maitreya receives the necklace. Heaven bless you. I shall go and tell my friend. You must, however, so manage it, and I might not be put to shame. So Dhuta cries and just leaves the stage. Vidushaka in astonishment. What a loftiness of mind. So he comes to Charudatta. How Maitreya lingers, I trust, in his distress. He would not do what he ought to. Maitreya, Maitreya. So Maitreya approaches. Here I am, take that. So displays the necklace. Charudatta, what is this? Why? This is the reward you get for marrying a worthy wife. So Dhuta is a worthy wife described here. Charudatta, what? My wife takes pity on me? Alas, now I am a poor man indeed. My wealth having disappeared through my adverse fate, I am now pitied by my wife through the offer of her money. Thus From the monetary point of view, the woman, the wife, has become a man, and the man has become the woman. But no, I'm not poor, for I have a wife who follows me in all the vicissitudes of my fortune, and a true friend who is same all through my prosperity and adversity, joys and sorrows. I have not, moreover, lost my sterling honesty, which is impossible to find among the poor. Maitreya, take the necklace and go to Vasantasena. Tell her in my name that we have gambled away the golden casket, forgetting that it was our not our own, and that we trust she will accept the necklace in this place. Vidushaka says, but you must not give away this necklace, the pride of the four seas, for that trifle that was stolen before we had a bite or a drink out of it. Charudatta says, not so, my friend. We give here but the price of the great faith with which she trusted those ornaments to us, all in confidence. Friend, I conjure you by the embrace of my body not to return until you have delivered it to the hands of Vasantasena. Vardhamanaka, quickly fill up this opening of the self-same bricks. I cannot help concealing it for evils of idle censure. Friend Maitreya, you must so speak to her as to show the loftiness of spirit of a noble-minded person. So Vidushaka is ordered to go to Vasantasena with that necklace given by Dhuta, the wife of Charudatta. So Vidushaka says, for what for will a pauper be niggard in his speech? He can well afford to be very liberal in his speech. Poor I am not, my friend, for I have a wife. Charudatta says, go then, after performing morning ablutions, I will offer morning prayers. So he exhumes. So this is the end of Act 3. So here we have seen the act of Sarvalika stealing the casket of gold, of golden jewelry, and we also find the goodness of Dhuta. In a Tamil Sangam text, Chillapadikam, we have a similar story. There, the wife Kannagi is also accompanying her husband through the travails of life and sticks to her. Her husband is killed mercilessly and she avenges. So, this similarity can be seen in Tamil text, a Sangam literature text, Chillapatikam. So, Vasantasena's love for Charudatta is revealed. Charudatta's love for art, for music is also revealed through this scene, through this act. We have a new complication because of the loss of the jewelry. This is also related to the title of the play, the clay cart or Mrichchhakatikam. So we'll find that this jewel will be again brought by Vasantasena and offered to the son of Charudatta. So this was a short scene, and I hope we enjoyed reading this scene. If you have any question, you can ask, or any kind of observation you want to make, you can make. Thank you for your participation. So in the next class, we will discuss Act 4.